Well, time to leave Fairlane for 2011 and head to Indiana. And what better music to have on when you're cruising down to Indy when you're still in Michigan than Michigan's finest, Bob Seger. Ah yes, what could be better? Cruise to Indy on a Friday afternoon. Beautiful. We jumped off the interstate onto State Highway number 12 because we're going to go and see a NASCAR track, Michigan International Speedway. Great. Have a look at that thing, just sitting out there rotting away. Unbelievable, unbelievable. It's the dead centre of Saline, Michigan. Beautiful part of the world down here.
Very pretty.
Merge, it says. It's not a French word for shit. Downtown Clinton, Michigan. And it's a nice quaint little place too. This is a stunning part of the world. There's a big body of water in there, which we've missed on the camera. This area is called the Irish Hills. Around every corner there's a highlight. On the left, you can't film everything, it's just ridiculous. Have a go at this place. Tiny little rooms, abandoned. The Lakeview Hotel was well named, wasn't it? Well, the Lakeview Hotel was only about a mile and a half from Michigan International Speedway. The big super speedway, MIS they call it, Michigan International. This is turn 1, and they feared you can haul the mail here.
I was struggling to hang on here.
Let's go to Indy.
Okay.
Somerset, Michigan. Again, it's as pretty as a picture here. Believe it or not, this is Moscow in Michigan. The Moscow General Store. There was only about 6 shops, and I think we're out the other side of it. Of course, they would probably pronounce it Moscow, which is actually the proper pronunciation if you're actually pronouncing it the way it's spelled. This is Coldwater, and it's a bigger centre, and it's now time to get back on the interstate, number 69, which is right up ahead of us for our trip further south down to Indiana. Back home again in Indiana. Yep, we hammered our way down the interstate. We're going through Pendleton now on our way to Greenfield. Only about 10 miles away.
How you doing, buddy?
Good, Jeff, how about yourself, mate?
Good to see you.
You're not going so well.
What's that? Oh yeah, I got all gimpy last night and hurt myself. Hello.
Hello, hello. I'm doing this bit and then I'll do the formal introductions.
Barbara.
Oh, there.
Yes. Hello. There's the star of our show, Stuart Poe. G'day, Stewie. Good to see you again, buddy.
Good evening.
Doesn't he look exactly the same? He's not aged one day. The AFL Grand Final, this is live here in Indiana. Yeah, there's 18 players per team, with 4 substitutes. And the pace is, to the hits though are incredible. I don't doubt it. Look at that hit there, there's 2 hits in a row. The toughest game in the world bar none. There's no protection. But that's not what the game's about either. You know, it's about precision, it's about execution. It's going to be a late night, Jeff Riggs. This game's still got 2 hours to go.
There's Brett sneaking around my kitchen. That sneaky bastard.
Barbara's cooking in Lara's kitchen. She's not really.
Hardly. The very easy bit.
Is that where we're going to go, Mr. Jeff Riggs?
Kentucky.
The great state of.
The bluegrass
The
state.
bluegrass state. Unbridled spirit. Okay, Lara, can you please tell us what you put in, what this dish is? It's the leftovers from last evening, but what is it?
It's Cajun. It's red beans and sausage and lots of Cajun seasoning. And actually, there's a lot of stuff in there. And we have crawfish etouffee.
Yeah, right. Okay. Now, the crawfish isn't something that I'm likely to get at home, being that Barbara is allergic to seafood.
All right.
What else is in the Cajun?
Peppers, onions, red, green, sausage.
That's about it.
Love.
Celery.
A lot of love in
Lots
there.
of-
Lots of chopping. Lots of
Chopping.
chopping involved.
And you put it with rice.
Over rice.
Over rice,
And
yes.
hard bread.
Yes.
Hard bread.
Hard garlic bread.
This is Bella. This is the view from Jeff and Lara's back door.
You know what geocaching is?
Yes, I do.
Did we talk about this?
No, but our friend Tammy Bird is into geocaching and she's taught us all about it.
So we do it.
Do you?
And we have some of our own caches.
Okay.
One of them is called Up the Creek.
And it's over there somewhere.
You can only access it by the water.
Canoe.
And we need to fix it. It needs maintenance.
What now?
I mean,
Tomorrow morning.
tomorrow.
Welcome. This is the brandy wine. Major source of commerce and industry into the great city of Greenfield. No, just a loving little ditch. Hey, Bella.
I thought it was a bit chilly to be doing that, but she obviously doesn't think so.
No.
Suppose we all need a bath. Now this is a concept we just wouldn't have in Australia, that is walking through everyone's backyard
Well,
to get up to another part of the river.
this is in Greenfield. The brandy wine runs straight through north to south.
Yeah,
But there's only about 20 homes that are actually on it, because the rest of it is in a severe floodplain or in a floodway and it can't be built on. Half of those 20 are in Waterview Estates where we live, and the other one is in Sherwood, which is
Okay.
the subdivision just to the north of us. And all of them are on the east side of the creek. So we become very tolerant. You know, we understand one another. We have the trees, we have the view. When you burn, you know, like
Yeah.
you can't openly burn in the city,
No.
but we don't call the police on one another when we do, because it's the only way to get rid of it. I mean, look at that pile.
Lots of it. You couldn't.
Look at that pile.
yeah.
Right, that's not mine, by the way. I'm a little more kept than that.
That reminds me of something.
Dr. Pepper time.
Maybe just a tad bit
Marzipan
of
or something.
like black licorice.
I hate licorice, but that's not bad.
I hate licorice too.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, I taste it like marzipan.
Marzipan? Like the stuff that slows your heart rate?
No, the almond
Oh.
paste.
Oh, okay.
Like you get on
Yeah, that's actually right. You're right.
paste cakes. You know, like wedding cakes and stuff.
Okay.
And you've got the yellow soft bit in the middle. That's marzipan.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an almond fondant.
Let's go for a drive, Jeff Riggs.
Joe.
You know, I
This is a children's museum in Indianapolis.
largest in the country.
Largest children's museum in the country. In there you can go and look at children from all races, countries, creeds.
Hello.
Stu's back. Welcome to Indianapolis, Indiana. That is Indy behind me, and I'm quite stoked that I can actually get up this high to look at it, because Indy, the state, is renowned for being flat. Flat as a pancake, like Holland. There's actually a lot of similarities between Holland and India, actually. Well, there's not as many cyclists and dykes here. Where are we?
We're at Riley's grave.
No, Riley. No, you got to explain who. What?
James Wickham Riley. He's a poet who was born. His birthplace is in Greenfield, Indiana, which is where we live.
Yeah.
This is his grave. It's the highest point in Indianapolis, in Crown Hill, and it's beautiful. You can see the city from here. And so, yeah, the thing is that you're supposed to give him a drink when you come to visit.
So.
And Stu's parents used to come with friends, and they'd have wine and cheese on Riley's grave. And they swear that one time that the cup blew over so that he could get his drink.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know about any of that, but we bought lots of Beam, Southern Comfort, and rum and all that sort of stuff anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
Jeff was saying that's all the money that was in Riley's pocket the day he died. 1916.
As many people that I brought here, I need to submit to memory this poem that he wrote. It's about his hate and disdain and just loathing of having to use the outside outhouse in the winter. And what they used to clean their ass was a frozen corn cob. And I can't even recite one line from it. But
Have you got it at home?
Oh, I've seen some shirts on the internet.
Okay, well, we'll dig it out later.
Did you find it?
Yep, yes, sir.
We're looking for, what are we doing here downstairs?
44, right there.
44. I said 41 or 40.
We're looking for
So
Dillinger's
40
grave.
44.
John
right next to
Dillinger.
41A. So 44 way up at the top.
The anti-hero.
He's at the top of the. At the 44. The top of 44. So,
What do you got in there?
yep.
Rum and Coke. John Dillinger.
Famous for? Yeah.
The only grave cemented into the ground because it's been stolen.
People keep chipping parts off it too, so as you can see.
Yeah, people come and chip them a little piece off.
Nobody's left a bullet recently. I'm a little disappointed.
The grass is having a hard time growing.
Baseball glove.
He died in a hail of bullets. A massive manhunt had ensued.
Public enemy number one at one point.
Melville Purvis was the man who got him. Is that right, Stu?
I believe so.
But there's also like 3 feet where he was buried too, so that the robbers wouldn't take the body out when he was actually buried.
Oh wow.
They put 3. That's what I found on the internet.
Don't ask me.
What's the go here, Jeffrey?
This is a war memorial for the USS Indianapolis. Its charge was to run a super secret mission during WW2 to deliver the H-bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And it was torpedoed after delivering its package. The only people, the people who survived the blast wound up becoming about half of the survivors at that point were then drowned or eaten by sharks before they were rescued like 3 or 4 days later.
And this is the memorial to the Indianapolis. Give us the stats there. 900 were swimming in the water.
And only 317 survived.
Because it was sharks
And
infested.
exposure, thirst, starvation. But they had to watch their comrades. And then body parts everywhere. It was just horrible. Just horrible.
I never knew that story, you know. Never heard that.
Come on, Bucker, pull up.
Jeff Rigg's live. That stadium up there is Lucas Oil Stadium, where the Super Bowl will be held in February 2012.
What a beautiful day for motor car race.
Are you quoting Jackie Stewart there? That is funny.
Beautiful day for motor car race.
It's more Irish.
Yeah, it's Irish accent, but that's all right though. I knew what you were doing. Jackie Stewart was a commentator over here for years, wasn't he? That's how they know him. They don't know him for his motor racing achievements, it's his commentary.
It's a beautiful day for motor car race.
As I said before, this is where they're going to host the Super Bowl in 2012. Right across the road from the Stadium Tavern, which is where we're going to eat.
You getting my limp?
Jeff broke his foot the other day. He's doing well.
What do you guys want to drink?
Man here.
The Crime Lab. Classic stuff here in Indy. We were going to eat at the Stadium Tavern, but we decided we're going to go somewhere else because we didn't like the service.
I like moving around.
Oh, look at that.
2 of them.
We call,
Since we have a chauffeur.
yep, wallopers we call them in Australia,
Wallopers?
because they wallop you, which is means whack you in the side of the
I
head.
knew exactly what that
Yeah, yeah.
What's a walloper? Oh, the cop?
We're having a bit of a well, no, not we. The Riggs is here and they're having a bit of a disagreement as to Riggs here needs to be in the right-hand lane here, and Lara's got her hand out the window.
It's probably not gonna let you. But you can probably go out.
There he is. There she is.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't walk, dude. Riggs will run you over. And we went right because of Lara's San Franciscan attitude towards driving. Is that right, Lara?
Make eye contact,
Yeah,
wave and
exactly.
smile. They have a hard time.
That's exactly
100% right. I'm here in downtown Indianapolis with my man here, Stuart Poe.
Hello.
We've just enjoyed a fine meal at the where?
The Ratskiller.
The Ratskiller.
Yeah. Fine German restaurant.
Fine German restaurant. I can absolutely verify that. It's fantastic. And we're standing out here in front of the Murat, which is that building there.
Yep.
And Stewie and I, some 9 years ago, watched Bob Dylan play there. And what an evening it was.
It was quite an evening.
And Dylan's not playing there tonight.
You found the only other person there with an accent. He was from Newcastle, England. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
And I was drinking Newcastle beer and he was drinking Budweiser.
And right now, instead of going to the Murat to watch Dylan, we are going to go here to the Chatterbox Tavern, a convivial establishment for a quiet beverage. Sunday, October 2, is it today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got Lara's chili happening here. And we've got exactly what are you doing there, Mr. Jeffries?
Pulling pork.
Yep.
And that's not a euphemism for something naughty and dirty, but we had a what did we do? A 9-pound pork shoulder?
9.5 pounds.
9.5 pound pork shoulder, 225 degrees an hour a pound.
With a dry rub.
With a dry rub.
And how about your chili, Lara? Do you want to explain to us what goes in your chili?
Really high quality ground beef.
Yep.
Onions, celery, spices, tomatoes, a little tomato juice, but chili powder and cumin are the key ingredients.
And I know from previous experience that Lara's chili is just exceptional. Barbara does an exceptional chili too.
Some extra.
I'm interested to taste the.
This is better after
compare the
it's been a
differences
while.
between the two. Yes, yeah. This is Tina.
He said,
Say hello to Australia.
hi.
And that's Tom. We'll see Tom a little
Just
later
in
on.
case Russell Crowe sees this, I love you.
I've never been.
Situation normal here at the Riggs household. Barbara's got a drink in her hand. Sterling's here. Stacey's here. Lara's here. The rabbit's name is what again? Luna. I got told that 17 times last night.
Oops.
This is Drake and Jack.
Do you wanna?
They're pretty cool dudes.
Yes, I have one.
Can do a real good accent.
Yeah, they're archery experts too. Okay, we're going to do that.
Hey, well, look,
Hey Zoe,
there's the old fella.
is this Mr. Mike Rigg?
This is Mike.
It's been 10
How
years.
you doing,
Mike.
Brett? You all right?
Righty, good to see you, champ. Good to see you.
And here's my grand boy. This is Trent.
Hello, Trent.
Wave to the camera.
Yeah, he's pretty
Give him a
cool.
big smile.
We met Trent the other day.
Give him a big smile.
Take the pass.
What do we got here?
They're really good.
This is oh, of course, this is the finished result of what we were looking at before, the labour of love for you and Jeff there. And we've still got some chili. All right, we have the most incredible barbecue I've tasted the whole trip, except for Tammy Bird's in Memphis, which was as good as this. And the barbecue baked beans here is just incredible. Tina, I hate baked beans in Australia.
You do?
I've always hated them. I come to America, I love them. I love them.
Big beans in America.
Yeah,
Well,
look at
we
this.
use barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
It's because it's Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. That's what makes the difference. Sweet Baby Ray's.
It's incredible. This is just fantastic.
Oh my God, so good.
Now Lara has a glow on. Yeah, she's all red cheek. She's got a glow on, as we say. We've been educating the Americans in Les Norton type vernacular. Some things have changed, Sheila, but some things haven't. Good to see you.
Oh, good to see you too. How are you?
I'm really well. How are you?
I'm good.
You look good. You look really good.
Thanks.
You haven't changed a bit.
Well, good.
I know you've been through some situations.
Well, I got fatter.
Well, oh, I don't know. I've got fatter. I know that. So you don't have to lie. Okay, you don't have to lie. I know I've got fatter.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Barbara.
Have you still got the Corvette?
No, we sold it.
I don't like to hear that answer.
I did get a new car.
An Impala. Well, we know that car very well because we hired one exactly the same as that,
Did you?
with
Yeah.
the spoiler on the back, the whole lot,
Yeah.
It was really good.
for 3 weeks, and we did 5,000 miles in it.
Oh my.
Yeah, we've been around.
Yeah. How long you been here in the States?
It's almost 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah. Is Sandy and Susan here by any chance?
Yeah, we are.
How are you going?
Just fine. How are you?
I'm going really well. Can you tell? Have that? That means I'm going.
you know, that's what happens.
No. It's wonderful to be here. I want to say on behalf of Glenn Riggs that he would be here, but he's not. So,
So you're here to stay?
yeah. Oh, it feels really good.
All right, here we are. We're just getting ready to leave Indiana and head into the beautiful state of Kentucky, where we're going to be stumbling the Bourbon Trail, featuring myself, Jeff Riggs,
American Gypsy.
American Gypsy.
We're going to go and visit Jim Beam and a few other things. We're going to go to Churchill Downs, to the museum there where they run the Kentucky Derby, and just generally, as the man said, stumble around.
Stumble the Bourbon Trail. We got the maybe Woodford, Maker's Mark, Jim Beam, and possibly even Wild Turkey. I think they're all around the Bardsville area. Time permitting, and legal consumption of the legal amount of alcohol permitting.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
We'll take the video camera along.
Yeah. Buckle up and stay tuned.
There we go.
There's the High River, and that is Louisville, Kentucky. And we're on the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Expressway.
Just for a
We're
change.
still on it. We've been on it all over America. And we're looking for Churchill Downs. Well, we found it. This is the entry to the museum. How cool is that? So how do you pronounce Derby?
Derby.
Yeah, so in Australia, everywhere in Australia it's pronounced Derby, except for Western Australia, where we're from. It's Derby there.
Just Derby here, yes.
Yeah.
Kentucky Derby.
Kentucky Derby.
So here's the Kentucky Derby time machine. It allows you to watch all the races from 1875 up to current.
What was that horse in 74 won the Triple Crown? And Secretariat, sorry, 73. That's a famous horse.
Watch it.
Now and then the stretch. It's Secretariat. Secretariat on the outside to take the lead. Sham holding in second. It's Secretariat moving away. He has it by 2.5. Sham then on the outside. Our native. At the wire it's going to be Secretariat. He wins it by 2 lengths. Sham second. Our native third by him. The big horse.
And it won the Triple Crown, didn't it? The Belmont and the Preakness. Riggs here has been telling us about the mint julep tradition.
Yeah, Laura and I, when they run the race,
Yeah.
we make a picture of mint juleps.
Oh, to sit
Okay.
Sit around, I smoke cigars, And we drank mint juleps and we watched the race.
Willie Shoemaker. Now there's a name I know.
If pressed very hard, the average American who doesn't really associate much with horse racing would come up with Willie Shoemaker.
Yeah.
Here's these steps.
Yeah.
All those years of experience finally came together at the right time.
Holy smoly.
11.
11 in the 3 majors.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Shoemaker showed his greatness with the decision that won him his 4th Kentucky Derby.
Big difference between race car museums and horse racing museums is that there's no actual horses in a horse racing museum.
They just can't bring themselves to stuff and mount them and put them in here.
Our greatest ever horse, Farlap, is stuffed and mounted.
But it's not normal.
And he died in America.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is unusual.
Came from 1927,
1932 he died.
32 died.
Come on into the gift shop. Let's buy a horse.
There's Secretariat. You can buy a model of Secretariat. There you go.
Hey chaps, come on down to the Kentucky Derby.
How much is that to purchase, Riggs?
$110.
It's the real thing, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, you're excited, Riggs, aren't you? Because you actually can see a real horse.
Yeah.
He's asleep. They sleep standing up, don't they?
Yeah.
His eyes are closed. I've never seen that. But I am completely ignorant when it comes to horses.
Okay, you guys ready to go hit the cafe and grab a horse burger?
We're going to eat before we do a little tour out onto the track. I can't go past the Secretariat Turkey Club. All the stuff's named after winners of the Kentucky Derby. How cool is that?
It's excellent. The Reuben.
Reuben.
Good.
Oh, nice.
Corned beef.
Oh, nice. Very good.
BLT, toasted.
Excellent. And the Secretariat Club is excellent. Everyone is very pleased with their selections. Tasty.
Very good.
It's real old school, that's for sure.
They're booked 5 to 9 years in advance.
I just left my water in the car, in the Blue Pig that is, after getting adequately hydrated so that we can get down to business. At one point in my life, I probably drank enough Jim Beam to float a small boat. Serious. Oh, well, hell, we got to get our picture in front of that.
That's where Glenn stood 10 years ago, where Barbara is, and said, we'll pay our respects, he said, to Jim Beam, the American outpost, acknowledging all the while his contribution.
Considerable contribution.
To the profits.
The profits of this fine establishment.
Okay, everyone, this is Warehouse D. Warehouse D is our oldest warehouse we have.
You can smell it, you can smell it. That's just a replay of what we said all those years ago.
Inside of Warehouse D, there are 20,000 barrels within this warehouse, and they're all stored in sections called ricks. Here's one rick in front of me. We stack them 3 high and 14 back to the end of the wall. Aging bourbon, straight to the ceiling. There's extra room over here if y'all want to try to fit in there. We're going to nose our bourbon, press it to your nose, part your lips, and breathe in. You're going to clear your sinuses a little bit, but you're also going to preview the flavor, the taste of your bourbon, okay? That way you're not surprised when you drink it, you don't choke on it like a sissy. Alright? In other words, you're not surprised, okay?
Cheers.
This is awesome.
Mine didn't last as long as that.
Love Knob Creek.
This is Bardstown in Nelson County. It's about 13 miles from the Jim Beam Distillery. Self-proclaimed bourbon capital of the world.
What we have here is a nosing glass, and you and I were drinking out of the other evening when I shared my single barrel numbered Willet bourbon.
Yep.
It's designed to be wider at the bottom, a little bit more narrow at the top, to let the bouquet open up, so you can get your nose down in there and get the full bouquet. And
I got you doing that on film in there in the tasting,
right. And but in some of the glasses, this one isn't as defined or profound, and in some of them where they come out just a little bit more, where it lands on your lip, the actual drink bypasses the tip of your tongue and lands a little bit more in the softer center of your tongue that opens raises it to the upper
So
palate.
a different portion of the taste buds and everything.
And just distributes it for a wider experience.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I take my alcoholism very seriously. This is the bourbon or Scotch glass that I prefer, to have my evening drink with. Occasionally I'll have two. But now I'm thinking, since I'm here and I've had an opportunity to see it and possibly purchase it, that I should invest in this one here. And then I could just tell Laura, this way I'll only have one this evening.
Yeah.
Just one, that should really do.
What is it, a 3 litre?
At least. Quick study.
I've taught Rigg. He's now giving me directions at roundabouts. In at 6, out at 12. Nice one.
I wonder about the old Talbot Tavern there.
Well, look at that.
Oh, isn't it?
Is that where you want to stay?
No, well, we want to have a drink.
Well, we've got ourselves some digs at the Best Western, Bardstown, Kentucky.
Just checking out my passport here. I want to make sure everything's legal. I don't need to be getting deported.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Do we need to have a drink before we go chow?
It'd be rude not to.
I highly recommend it.
Look what you found.
Oh, look at here. A beautiful Kentucky straight bourbon. Small batch, aged 9 years. My personal favorite.
Yeah.
Creek.
Yeah.
Here, this is one of the most beautiful sounds in the world. Oh man, delicious. Ambrosia, nectar of the gods.
That's it. That's it. Thank you, American Gypsy.
Bet. Cheers. Even out of a cheap-ass plastic Best Western cup. This is delicious.
It is. That was my reaction. Nice one. Nice
So
one.
I'm excited. I'm glad that we jettisoned the Mammoth Cave for this. I have no idea what I was thinking in the first
You wanted to
place.
see a natural wonder when you can go to Bourbon Distilleries? Yeah, no, that is ridiculous.
Yeah. That when you see this type of sign almost anywhere across the country, it's indicating
Well, the Germans are
6 o'clock.
Holy smoly, I haven't never heard that before.
A lot of towns do that at like noon on a Friday just to test the, like if there was a tornado or
scared.
something civil, you know,
Yeah.
warning, that's how they let the community know that it's the warning sign. So they must know that it's 6 o'clock, which
It is.
it is.
On October 3, 2011,
Yeah.
a Monday.
So on a Monday at 6 o'clock, apparently
Yeah.
they bring that off. They ring that off.
Now this is something you don't see every day.
Right up out of it.
Carved out of a tree stump.
I'm painted. Not even a West Coast one.
Looks a bit like it.
True. It's October 3 today. And this is where we're going to find Jeff Rigg's American Gypsy.
It's the Elijah Craig 18-year-old. So we're going to try that tonight. Cheers.
And Riggs has got a Evan Williams Riggs.
Evan Williams, here. My sponsor.
How are you, champ?
My sponsor Keith.
Good friends from Australia.
That's good.
Party with us. Well, I guess they were here back in November.
Right.
Yeah.
They party?
Yeah, it's always a party.
That's it. That's all we do. I got myself the 18-year-old Elijah Craig as well.
Cheers. Here's the light.
Cheers.
Keith's up from Dallas, Texas.
$8.25, just in case anyone was wondering. It's what you pay for something like that. So, how many ounces would that be, Riggs?
2 plus.
2 plus. Right. Yeah. So, cheers. Keith just brought us around and we're drinking to the sharks of Western Australia.
From Mesquite, Texas.
From Mesquite, Texas. There you go.
Yeah. World famous Texas rodeo.
That's it. And you got some good barbecue down there too.
You know what? We love to kill cows. We know how to cook.
That's all true.
It's a good mix.
That's all true.
Like I say, when I want a steak, just bring it over. I'll cut off what I want. I'll ride the rest home.
There you go, man.
That's Jeff Rigg's American Gypsy.
You know, I almost equate Texas to Australia. You know,
Well, we do.
The Roughnecks, you know, the rodeo. I mean,
Some of the country looks a bit the
my
same.
favorite musical artist, Keith Urban.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
Very talented man.
You've still got the lead. Good. Feeling good.
You got it by one run at the moment, have you?
3.
It's 4-3, isn't it?
What?
Yeah.
6.
There's a few. The American Gypsies had a few bourbons.
I'm American tipsy.
This tavern has been operating for 200 years. So how would you sum the evening up?
Absolutely delicious. Good to the last drop, as a matter of fact. So, is it the Old Town Tavern?
The Old Talbot.
The Old Talbot?
Yeah. Well, it's what is it? What is it, Riggs?
October 14.
October 4 even.
October 4. Woo! Drank myself into a time warp. About 9:15, getting ready to roll after a really good evening last night. We're at the I still can't remember the name of the place. The Old
Talbot.
the Talbot Tavern. But we definitely enjoyed our bourbons. You know, we met our friend Keith, who consequently I suspected that there were going to possibly be problems. I noticed that his method of enjoying bourbon was a quick sniff, sip, and then down the gullet it went. my experience has been that very rarely works out well for anyone. And we were proven
Correct.
that was correct once again with Keith last night, that he came up missing for a bit when you went outside.
Yeah, I went outside
to take a look at the marquee, the
historical
marker, and found that Keith was resting peacefully out on the sidewalk.
That's right. We thought, oh, well, he bought us a couple of rounds. We couldn't just leave him there.
Right? Yeah, he was. Well, and he was a very enjoyable.
He was. That was the main reason.
Engaging fella, and so we rousted him around and helped him locate his vehicle. At which point, we gave what we thought were some pretty sound advice to not go ahead and drive it. There was a slight fuss, but I think he came around rather quickly and decided to walk back to the lovely Best Western here with us and take up lodging for the evening. And
he hadn't actually booked into a room at that point. He just arrived at the pub in the afternoon, started drinking, and that was it.
Right.
Nice guy though.
Very
All's
nice
well
guy.
that ends well, Jeff.
Yeah. And we got him back here safely. Oh, and by the way, he was washing his bourbons back with a nice stout glass of Guinness.
That'll do it.
Evening of champions.
There's baby. We're just checking out. Well, it's another lovely day here in Bardstown, Kentucky. We've just come out of breakfast. And that's the little hotel vehicle here at the Best Western. Nice little Model A. And it's time to hit the road. And there's the star of our show.
Kentucky back road. I've loved you much too long. My love's too strong. Let you go.
Our first distillery of the day on our Stumbling the Bourbon Trail tour is here at Maker's Mark.
So you're Australian?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You live here or you just...
Nope. The old grist mill distillery, now known as Maker's Mark.
You know, they talk about the limestone water that they use. That's like the key element to making fine Kentucky bourbon. Is limestone and water over time acts like a huge chunk of Alka-Seltzer,
which is
what people use for indigestion. It's a fizzy, bubbly, but you would never recognize it with that fizz, because it's something that would require time-lapse photography, right? But it's the same thing. We're down here in the south where we're talking about the caves. It's the same ingredient that is responsible for a lot of the caves. It's taken hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years for that limestone to fizz and break away with the water that leaves the caves. And then it's the moisture that creates the cave foundation, the stalagmites, the stalactites, the curtains, that are in the caves. So the two kind of go hand in hand. So that the kind of limestone water that they use making that is also going to be in areas where there are going to be a lot of caves. And you also see pine trees. That's another thing, because their root system doesn't have to go quite as deep. It doesn't penetrate the limestone. But yeah, we would regard it as the South, and I think a lot of the people in Kentucky proper would regard themselves as part of the South.
Okay, well that's the most important bit.
But I also believe at the same time that they would regard the war between the North and the South as the Civil War, rather than the War of the Northern Aggression, which is like when you're in Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia, they're in the deep South that when the Civil War to them, they regard as the war of the Northern aggression.
Classic. And that's one of those whiskey thieves.
Yeah.
That's
We're committed to two things.
Oh,
Making great bourbon and selling it the right way.
this is spooky.
I have dreams like this, where pictures talk to me out of the newspaper and off the walls. I'm serious.
I could only have
I can
nightmares.
believe that.
I'm serious.
I can believe that, Rick. This is what's called an oxygen thief.
Whiskey thief.
A whiskey thief. Sorry, oxygen thieves are some of our politicians and yours.
Yeah. And you're from Australia?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Indianapolis. Well, you're with these people.
Yeah. No, I'm their chaperone.
You've almost picked up their accent.
No, no, definitely not.
Definitely not. And you're from Australia.
Australia, yeah.
Okay.
It's went right through there. It comes to dry to that out.
That's so where they dry it, where they cook it, just enough not to affect the bourbon itself.
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool.
Real cool.
How did I know, Jeff, that we're going to get an opportunity to dip our own bottle and then purchase that bottle?
It's the American way, you know? Let you do all the work and then make you pay for it.
And how am I going to be able to resist? That's the thing. Well, we'll see what happens.
Maybe they have a half pint.
I've just purchased a little bottle of Maker's Mark. If it gets home, it'll be a miracle. Because they are quite weighty, and the other problem is it might break in the luggage. But as you can see, it's got no wax on it. We're about to change that right now.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to pull this little tab out because that's how you get into your bottle. You have to pull it around.
Oh, of course, yes.
And,
I've actually opened quite a few of them in my time. So.
Yeah, well, you know what? I hate to say this about Australians, but they pretty much open them going out the door.
We'll relate to that.
Hold it fast. Set it down. Okay, get your hands back. I'm going to jostle a little bit for the pictures. Okay, now don't touch it because it's really too hot. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's stand beside it. Throw those thumbs up. Look like a winner there. Yay! You got your slam dunk. Is that an Australian?
That's a number one. That's when they win NASCAR races.
Oh, okay.
They go, I won the rotor race.
Did you go to NASCAR while you were there?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
We went to Richmond, Virginia and Atlanta, Georgia.
Uh-huh.
Well, just like Jack Daniels, they've got their own old fire engine. Theirs is an REO Speedwagon. This one's a Bickle. But very much similar eras. Mid to late 1920s. This is the main drag of Lebanon, as they say, Lebanon as we would say. Kentucky, where we've just had Kentucky Fried Chicken, and that's the intersection of Proctor Knott Avenue and whatever this Main Street. We're on Main Street, of course we are, because that's the main street over there. Gee, we've driven past some wonderful Victorian type structures.
That's pretty.
And it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful here, and as neat as a pin.
The way all the gardens are kept.
Okay, this is the Distillery Four Roses, and this is not a brand that's available in Australia, but I used to drink it in Europe. Not with him though, heathen. We used to drink it in Europe because along with Jim Beam and Jack Daniels, they were the only bourbons, not that Jack Daniels is a bourbon, I know, available. So we used to drink it a lot over there. So it has a sentimental value, the good old Four Roses. Genuine Kentucky sour mash.
Yeah, it is.
That's where the sour mash terminology comes from. When it's fermenting.
It looks like that we go to the barrel. The jar is what this is going to. This is the calculation of the jar.
Now the single barrel proof, if you have not had this one, it may surprise you to be as smooth as it is for 100 proof bourbon.
This won't have a real fruity floral aroma with it. Taste with this. Will be ripe plums and cherries.
How long?
Here we are, once again, gathered all together, wondering what it's all about. And I can't tell you because I don't know myself. But I do know that it's a very, very big thing.
Check out Riggsy's childlike enthusiasm for the
You see the funny one got here.
I think this thing, squeeze it or something, see what happens.
Just water.
Alright, the hell about do, I reckon. I regret having shown you.
Well, I always ask them, like, they'll say, someone will get, someone will say, I don't know, water, or something like that, and I'll say, well, that is how we ship our
Drink more bourbon is what he's saying. Drink lots more bourbon.
Now this one here is at the peak of fermentation, okay? This would be a day 2. They're not agitating this, they're not stirring this. This is all just a natural process. If you breathe that in very deep, you're gonna, yes, you'll get woozy.
We're looking for Woodford, but we doubt we'll get there in time, but we'll just give it a shot. We think we're on the 62, heading in the right direction.
Cheers to you.
We made it to the Woodford Reserve. Cheers.
Broke every speed limit along the way to do so. We had to leave Wild Turkey without the taste test. Now what's that like?
Very nice. Got the caramel notes.
In all honesty, Jeff here told us that Woodford was his favourite. Australia, the Woodfords was his favourite, so.
That's wonderful.
We saved the best for last. Remember, we saved the best for last.
Like the way he drinks. So you're doing the trail, huh?
We just finished the trail.
Finished. You finished the trail.
Like I said, we saved the best for last.
Oh, he did indeed.
And I drove the last section like a tarmac rally to get in here.
But we had gone directions, I mean.
Just plonked the blue pig right at the front, jumped out, and we were well received.
Y'all have a safe trip.
Thank you very much.
If you stand up on the wall, we'll be able to get the Woodford Reserve.
Okay. It's 10 minutes past 5 in the PM, obviously. And it's a stunning late afternoon here in Versailles, or Versailles as they call it, Kentucky. There's some cows and there's some horses. And there's a working area there on the left where that's a racehorse thoroughbred training centre. It's a little racetrack with some gates, full on proper gates I might add. Look at that, see pretty good through there. We come up to the junction of the 60, which is just to the west, about 6 or 7 miles west of Versailles, as I would call it. And the locals spell it literally, pronounce it literally Versailles. Is that right, Riggs?
Yep.
Well, we've made our way back to Louisville, and we're negotiating our way through because we can't get on I-65 north from the I-64. So we're just picking our way through, shut the road. So back in Louisville, home of the Kentucky Derby. Louisville. So it's Louisville. Alright. All these cars around here, all Indiana place. We're all stuck in the vortex that is Louisville. Jeff Riggs reckons.
We just want to know how the hell we get to Indiana without getting wet.
It's just there. That's Indiana on the other side of the river.
Oh, we're going round and round on detours.
Thank God. Back home again. Indiana. Goodbye, Louisville. Good luck.
We have officially stumbled the Bourbon Trail with Jeff Riggs, the American Gypsy. Now we're back home, getting ready to enjoy a delicious coconut curry and pad thai that Laura lovingly made for us.
And we did it. We did the Bourbon Trail.
We did. We've got our passports.
Right here is here's
Really?
the proof.
We've got our
Official. You got our official?
There's the official. Everyone is stamped.
That's
approved.
great. We're gonna put that in the fridge.
Yeah. Beam, Heaven Hill, Four Roses, Maker's Mark, Wild Turkey, Woodford Reserve. Congratulations.
I'm
Yes.
impressed.
Bit of a round of applause.
We did it.
And Barbara's turned into a bourbon fan.
Really?
Woohoo!
I know which ones I like now.
Okay.
Okay. Until our next adventure. Ciao for now.